Wait, wait. Did the 2026 FIFA World Cup just change to forever? This isn't just another World Cup. It's the biggest one ever. With more teams and a bigger format, how does the tournament actually work? Initially, the plan was to have 16 groups. But would that actually work? Let's see how they solve this puzzle. What about the third-place teams? In this format, some of them actually qualify. This is where the real drama begins. How many times are they going to change this? Let's look at the final version.
Here is how it works. First, the teams are split into groups. The best move on to the knockout rounds, until only one lifts the trophy. Forget about all those complicated charts. We are keeping it simple. Let's sweep away all this unnecessary confusion. Here is the simple path to the trophy. But there is one major update. It changes everything about the competition. Brace yourselves for the biggest change yet.
For decades, the format was balanced. 32 teams divided into 8 groups of 4. It was simple, iconic, and easy to understand. But everything is about to change. Welcome to the new era of 48 teams. That's an increase of 16 extra teams, moving from 32 to 48, moving from 32 to 48. This expansion allows more diverse nations to participate, bringing the global game to every corner of the world. More countries, more dreams, and more inclusion. This expansion allows more matches on the schedule, more fans cheering in the stands, and ultimately more football. Here is where it gets really interesting. This is the new tournament format. This expansion allows of the traditional groups of 4, we might see a structure with exactly 3 teams. How unusual is that? But that plan was ultimately scrapped. For a much better approach.
This tournament features a massive shift in structure. We now have 12 distinct groups, with 4 teams playing in each. While the tournament is expanding, the classic 4-team group stage format remains exactly the same. Every team is guaranteed to play 3 matches in the group stage. In football, securing a win is everything. It adds 3 vital points to your league total, propelling the team higher up the standings. In football, a draw means a balanced match. Both teams played well and shared the result. Each team earns 1 point for their efforts. This moves them both up in the league. In football, losing a match means earning 0 points. This is a tough outcome for any team, but it is a fundamental part of the game's scoring system. It emphasizes that a loss... Welcome to our tournament explainer. The bracket is quite straightforward. Everything looks very familiar so far. The format is easy to follow. Everything is normal so far.
Welcome to the group stage. 4 teams compete, but only the best advance. The top 2 teams secure their spot in the bracket, while the bottom 2 are eliminated.
This tournament features a massive bracket. 24 teams in total, all fighting for the trophy. This tournament features 24 teams, but mathematically, a knockout bracket doesn't work that way. It leads to some very awkward matchups. So, how do we solve this? This tournament features 24 teams, but mathematically, a knockout bracket doesn't work that way. It leads to some very awkward matchups. So, how do we solve this? To solve this, FIFA is introducing a brand new rule change. Doesn't work regulation will completely update the tournament system. With 24 teams, the top 2 from each group automatically go through. But exactly 8 third-place teams also qualify. Bright arrows guide their path to the knockout bracket. From here, 32 teams enter the knockout stage, converging into a clean elimination path, centered around a structured tournament rounds. Now, let the finals begin. As you can see, both brackets appear visually very similar, with exactly 32 teams highlighted in each. The new format remains familiar and consistent about any confusing changes. But with more teams, things quickly get complicated. Overlapping brackets and chaotic progression paths leave fans with more questions than answers. But here's the twist. Even coming in third doesn't mean you're out. In this format, the best third-place teams also move on to the knockouts. These are the teams that everyone loves, the true underdogs. They create those unforgettable emotional moments. You definitely know them. They are the heart of the game. Let's look at their journey. They started with a loss, followed by a draw, and finally a dramatic win, straight into the knockout bracket, an absolute survival story. In this new format, every match matters. Every fixture is a battle, filled with intense pressure. Don't worry about all that mess. Now the knockout format gets really simple. Welcome to the round of 32. 32 teams are now paired into elimination fixture, creating 16 symmetrical first-round matchups. A clean layout makes it easy to understand. In the knockout stage, the rules are simple. Win and you move on. Lose and you are eliminated. There are no second chances. It is strictly win or go home. Welcome to the round of 16. Only 16 teams remain. Every match brings them closer to the ultimate goal, the championship trophy. The tournament is about to get intense. As we advance to the quarterfinals, only 8 teams remain, ready to battle for a spot in the semifinals. The tournament is about to get intense. As we advance to the quarterfinals, only 8 teams remain, ready to battle for a spot in the semifinals. In the final, 2 matches will decide it all. As we reach the final step, welcome to the high-stakes semifinals. 4 teams remain, fighting for a spot in the final. 2 matches will decide it all. Feel the intense pressure as we reach the final step. The 2026 World Cup is already full of massive changes, but there is still one more thing you need to know.
This is the biggest sporting event on the planet, uniting nations from every corner of the globe, all competing for the ultimate prize. The magnitude of this tournament is truly massive.
More teams means more excitement. The tournament is expanding, giving more nations a chance to shine on the biggest global stage. That means a packed schedule of matches, with non-stop action throughout the day, creating an unforgettable timeline of games for fans everywhere to enjoy. The tournament is expanding to 16 host cities, uniting 3 nations for one massive journey. In football, we all love a massive upset. But how do expanded tournaments produce more of them? More teams means more opportunities for giants to fall, and that's how underdogs make history. With an expanded tournament, more nations get a shot. Underdogs step onto the global stage, ready to challenge the world's greatest, and claim their chance to make history. In every major tournament, there are always clear favorites. These are the teams expected to dominate. Watch how a single match result can flip the entire group standings, rearranging every team's position. But football doesn't always follow the script. In fact, it produces unexpected results. Because if there's one thing we know, football loves chaos. With more teams in the competition, the path to victory becomes less predictable, creating more shock results, more dramatic moments, and absolute chaos. This is where underdogs rise, pushing tournament favorites completely out of the bracket. After a historic upset, the path to glory is wide open. The World Cup is expanding to 48 teams. That means more matches and more excitement. Let's see how this new format works. It is going to be epic. To master the game, you've got to know the rules. Here are 4 key points every player must remember. Keep these locked in your memory bank. Always remember these. These teams are divided into 12 groups. Each group will feature 4 teams. Symmetrical layout makes it easy. Glowing arrows show the path. Top teams will advance. These teams are divided into 12 groups. Each group consists of 4 teams. Symmetrical layout makes it easy. They will play against each other. From the groups, 32 teams advance. They enter a high-stakes knockout bracket. Win and you move on, lose and you are out. Every match is final. So, the new World Cup format is actually quite simple. It goes from 48 teams down to 12 groups, with 4 teams each leading to are out. Every match is out. So, the new World Cup format is actually quite simple. It goes from 40 much easier than it first appeared. With 4 teams each, the puzzle is already completely solved. So, despite this, the core concept hasn't changed. The classic bracket on the left grows into this expanded version. See how they share the exact same structural points? It's simply scaled up to accommodate more. Initially, the movement of teams can seem a bit confusing, but best third-place teams also advance to play. Following these simple guide arrows makes everything clear. Soon, you will understand. But who will win it all? I guess only time will tell. After all, the World Cup is famous for its Cinderella stories, where any team can rise up to become the next big miracle. The expanded bracket means more knockout paths. Watch as multiple teams populate the bracket. Expect flashing upset icons and shock symbols. Miracle arrows trace unexpected journeys.
Now you can understand football format. No more confusing diagrams, just simple and fun explainers. So make sure to join us. Subscribe for more simple football explainers.